Ladies and gentlemen, every person in this room holds a seed of greatness within them. The question is not whether you have potential. The real question is whether you are cultivating it with the right qualities. Because qualities shape identity, and identity shapes destiny, let's dive into the 5 major qualities that will truly influence yourself. The first is self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and your future self. You can have ambition, but without discipline, you'll stop when life gets tough. Discipline means waking up when the alarm rings, showing up even when you don't feel like it, and holding yourself accountable when no one else is watching. If you want to be respected by others, you must first prove that you can respect your own commitments. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. The second is confidence. Confidence is not arrogance, it's trust in your own ability to grow, to learn, and to lead. When you walk into a room with confidence, people feel it before you even say a word. It's the invisible power that allows you to take risks, grab opportunities, and inspire others to believe in you. The truth is, confidence doesn't come from waiting until you're ready. It comes from acting before you're ready and proving to yourself that you are capable. The third quality is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and the ones who succeed are not the strongest or the smartest, but the ones most willing to adapt. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in business, career, or personal life comes from embracing change rather than resisting it. Adaptability means being flexible enough to adjust when plans fail, creative enough to find solutions in challenges, and resilient enough to keep moving forward. If you can adapt, you can thrive in any environment. The fourth quality is consistency. Success is never about what you do occasionally, it's always about what you do consistently. Consistency means your actions align with your vision every single day. It's easy to be motivated once in a while, but the people who truly influence their own lives are the ones who can stay committed even when motivation fades. Consistency builds habits, and habits build results. If you want to change your life, change what you do daily. Finally, the fifth quality is a positive mindset. The world will always present obstacles, but how you respond determines whether they are walls or stepping stones. A positive mindset is not pretending everything is perfect. It's choosing to focus on solutions instead of problems. It's seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. When you carry positivity, you attract better people, better energy, and better outcomes. Negativity drains you, positivity empowers you. Ladies and gentlemen, these 5 qualities, self-discipline, confidence, adaptability, consistency, and positivity, are not traits people are born with. They are choices you make every single day. The version of yourself you dream of becoming is built from the qualities you choose to practice. So I challenge you, don't just listen to these words, live them. Start with discipline, walk with confidence, bend with adaptability, stay with consistency, and shine with positivity. Because when you cultivate these 5 qualities, you don't just influence your life, you transform it. Self-discipline is often seen as a strict word, almost as if it belongs only to military routines or rigid lifestyles. But in reality, it is the foundation of personal power. Without self-discipline, even the most talented individuals end up stuck in cycles of procrastination, inconsistency, and self-doubt. It is the very quality that separates those who dream from those who actually achieve. Discipline is not about controlling every second of your life. It is about aligning your actions with your bigger vision, even when temptation, distraction, or fatigue try to pull you away. Think of it as the muscle of your character. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. Just like a muscle, it starts small, it hurts at first, and it demands consistency, but eventually it becomes the strength that carries you through the heaviest moments of your life. When you set a goal for yourself, whether it is waking up earlier, building a business, saving money, or improving your health, it is not talent that makes you reach it, it is discipline. Talent may open doors, but only discipline keeps them open. Talent is natural, but discipline is a choice. And the beautiful thing about discipline is that it does not require any special background, degree, or permission from others. It is available to anyone who decides they want more from themselves. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about persistence. You will stumble, you will break promises to yourself at times, But the true test is whether you come back to the path every time you fall off. That constant returning, that refusal to give up on your commitments, is the true reflection of discipline. Many people misunderstand discipline and think it takes away freedom. In reality, it is the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. When you are disciplined with your money, you earn the freedom to enjoy financial security. When you are disciplined with your time, you create the freedom to invest in the things that matter most. When you are disciplined with your health, you give yourself the freedom to live with energy and longevity. Lack of discipline looks like freedom in the short term. Sleeping late, spending without thinking, eating whatever you want, saying yes to every distraction. But it always traps you in the long term. On the other hand, discipline feels like sacrifice in the short term, but it rewards you with lasting freedom in the long run. Discipline also builds trust, and not just trust with others, but trust within yourself. When you say you will do something and you follow through, you strengthen your own self-belief. Every small promise you keep to yourself is like a deposit into your self-respect account. Over time, this builds confidence, resilience, and an identity of someone who follows through. People who lack discipline struggle not because they lack ability, but because they no longer trust their own word. They start things but rarely finish, and deep down, they stop believing they are capable of change. Self-discipline rewrites that story by teaching you to prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you are worthy of your own trust. The truth is, discipline is rarely glamorous. No one claps for you when you choose to read instead of scroll on your phone. No one celebrates when you save money instead of buying something unnecessary. No one notices when you wake up an hour earlier to work on your goals. But discipline is not about recognition, it is about transformation. The applause comes later when your results are visible, and the people who once didn't notice will begin to ask how you did it. The answer will always be discipline. So when you think about the qualities that influence yourself, begin with discipline. It is the foundation upon which all other qualities are built. Without it, confidence collapses, consistency is impossible, adaptability becomes harder, and positivity fades. With it, everything else has a chance to grow. Discipline is the silent architect of success. It is not the easy choice, but it is the choice that builds the strongest version of you. Confidence is one of the most powerful qualities a person can carry, not because it guarantees perfection, but because it gives you the courage to step forward even when things are uncertain. It is not about being louder than others, dressing in a certain way, or always having the right answers. True confidence is rooted in self-trust, the belief that no matter what challenge comes your way, you have the ability to figure it out, to learn, and to rise again if you fall. People often wait for confidence to magically appear before they take action, but the truth is the opposite. Confidence grows only through action. You cannot think your way into being confident. You must act your way into it. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, every time you take a risk despite your fears, you are building a stronger version of yourself. Confidence opens doors that talent alone cannot. You might have the skill, the knowledge, or the creativity, but if you lack the confidence to share it with the world, those gifts remain hidden. How many times do opportunities pass people by because they were too afraid to raise their hand, too hesitant to apply, or too doubtful to speak up? Confidence is not about being the smartest in the room. It is about being willing to show up, contribute, and trust that you belong there. People are drawn to confident individuals because confidence communicates belief, and belief is contagious. When you carry yourself with confidence, others feel more secure following your lead, supporting your vision, or investing in your ideas. But it is important to understand that confidence does not come from pretending to be fearless. Confidence comes from acting even when fear is present. Fear will never disappear completely, and waiting for a day when you feel no fear is waiting for a day that will never arrive. Instead, confidence is built by doing the very thing you are afraid of and realizing that the fear did not break you. It is in those moments that you begin to shift your identity from someone who hesitates to someone who acts. That identity shift is what strengthens your belief in yourself over time. Another powerful truth about confidence is that it grows in direct proportion to preparation. When you prepare, when you practice, when you invest in learning your craft, confidence becomes a natural outcome. Think of an athlete stepping into a competition. They do not feel confident simply because they believe in themselves. They feel confident because they have trained daily, pushed their limits, and prepared their body and mind. Preparation fuels confidence because it eliminates the excuses your mind tries to create. You can step forward boldly, knowing you have already done the work. Confidence also comes from keeping promises to yourself. When you tell yourself you will do something and you actually follow through, you are proving to yourself that your word matters. That self-trust is the foundation of confidence. On the other hand, when you constantly break your own promises, whether it is skipping the gym, procrastinating on your goals, or avoiding responsibilities, you slowly weaken your belief in yourself. Confidence cannot survive in a place where self-trust is missing. So, one of the most practical ways to build confidence is simply to commit to small promises and keep them consistently until your identity shifts into someone who always follows through. The impact of confidence on your life cannot be overstated. It influences the way you communicate, the way you present yourself, the risks you are willing to take, and even the quality of the relationships you build. People respect confidence because it reflects strength and certainty. It tells the world that you know your worth even if you are still growing. And when you carry that energy, you begin to attract opportunities that were once invisible to you. Confidence is not about never doubting yourself. It is about moving forward despite those doubts. It is not about arrogance or pretending to be perfect. It is about acknowledging your imperfections while trusting your ability to grow. Every confident person you admire was once a beginner who doubted themselves, but they acted anyway. That is the secret. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you practice until it becomes a part of who you are. Adaptability is one of the most valuable qualities you can develop in today's fast-changing world. Nothing in life remains constant. Markets shift, technology advances, relationships evolve, and unexpected events occur. The truth is, no matter how carefully you plan, there will always be circumstances that push you off course. Those who resist change often find themselves stuck, frustrated, and unable to move forward. But those who embrace adaptability understand that growth is not about controlling every situation. It is about adjusting to whatever comes your way and finding the best path forward. Adaptability is not weakness, it is strength. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to adjust without losing your identity, and to keep moving even when the ground beneath you feels uncertain. When you are adaptable, you are not shaken by failure, rejection, or sudden changes. Instead of seeing them as disasters, you view them as opportunities to learn, redirect, and reinvent yourself. Think about the most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, or innovators. They did not reach their positions because life was smooth and predictable. They succeeded because they adapted when life was unpredictable. They adjusted their strategies, shifted their mindset, and found creative ways to turn challenges into opportunities. Adaptability is not about having all the answers. It is about having the willingness to search for new ones. Adaptability also requires humility. To adapt means you accept that the way you've always done things might not be the best way anymore. It demands you let go of old habits, outdated beliefs, and rigid thinking. Many people struggle with adaptability because they fear change will expose their weaknesses or force them out of their comfort zone. But the truth is, clinging to comfort is far riskier than learning to adapt. When you refuse to adapt, you fall behind while the world keeps moving forward. But when you embrace adaptability, you stay relevant, resilient, and ready for whatever comes next. Another powerful element of adaptability is emotional flexibility. Life will throw you challenges that test your patience, disrupt your plans, or even break your heart. Adaptability allows you to manage your emotions, to step back and ask, how can I respond in a way that helps me grow instead of staying stuck? Instead of wasting energy on frustration, adaptable people focus on solutions. They accept reality, but they do not surrender to it. They redirect their energy toward progress. This mindset not only helps you handle external challenges, but also builds inner strength, because you learn that your happiness and success are not dependent on everything going perfectly. They are dependent on how you respond when things do not. Adaptability also fuels creativity. When a plan fails, adaptable people do not quit. They innovate. They look for alternate routes, new ideas, and fresh strategies. This is why adaptability is one of the greatest assets in both personal and professional life. In business, adaptable individuals are the ones who thrive when industries shift. In personal life, they are the ones who navigate transitions like moving cities, changing careers, or facing unexpected difficulties with courage instead of fear. They don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "How can I grow from this?" That simple shift creates endless possibilities. The most important thing to remember is that adaptability is not something you are born with, it is something you practice. You build it every time you face a challenge with curiosity instead of resistance. You build it when you decide to learn new skills, explore new perspectives, or try different approaches instead of sticking to what feels safe. Every time you adapt, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling more than you thought. That proof becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes momentum. Adaptability ensures that no matter what changes, you remain in control of your growth. You may not control the storm, but you can control how you sail through it, and often, the storms that once felt like setbacks reveal themselves as turning points when you choose to adapt. That is the beauty of adaptability. It transforms uncertainty into possibility. Consistency is the silent force that shapes who you become and what you achieve. It is not about doing extraordinary things once in a while. It is about doing ordinary things repeatedly until they create extraordinary results. Most people underestimate the power of consistency because it doesn't give instant rewards. It feels boring, repetitive, and unglamorous. But what they fail to realize is that every small action, repeated over time, compounds into a powerful outcome. Success is rarely built on big breakthroughs alone. It is built on consistent effort that eventually leads to breakthroughs. If you want to influence your own life in a meaningful way, consistency must become your foundation. The truth is, motivation is fleeting. Some days you will feel excited, inspired, and unstoppable. Other days you will feel tired, discouraged, or distracted. If you rely only on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. Consistency is what carries you through the days when motivation disappears. It is the commitment to show up whether you feel like it or not. Think of an athlete. They do not train only on the days they feel inspired. They train every day because they know that discipline and consistency will bring results long after motivation fades. In the same way, when you stay consistent in your work, your habits, and your mindset, you create momentum that pushes you forward even during low points. Consistency also shapes your identity. Every repeated action reinforces a belief about who you are. If you consistently keep promises to yourself, you begin to see yourself as reliable and strong. If you consistently cut corners, procrastinate, or avoid challenges, you begin to see yourself as someone who cannot be trusted to follow through. This identity becomes your reality. The good news is, you can rewrite your identity by rewriting your consistent actions. Change what you do daily, and over time, you change who you are becoming. That is the real influence consistency has. It creates the story you live in. Another powerful truth about consistency is that it builds trust not only within yourself but also with others. People pay attention to patterns, not moments. If you want respect, you must be consistent in the way you show up. If you want strong relationships, you must consistently communicate, support, and invest in them. If you want success in business or career, you must consistently deliver value. One good action won't make people trust you, but repeated actions over time will. Consistency is the currency of credibility. Without it, even talent and passion eventually lose value. Consistency also creates mastery. No one becomes excellent overnight. The people who stand out in any field are those who practiced their craft again and again, even when no one was watching. They made mistakes, learned, improved, and repeated the process until excellence became natural. When you are consistent, you give yourself the gift of steady growth. It may feel slow at times, but slow growth is still growth, and slow growth sustained always outpaces bursts of effort followed by long gaps of inactivity. It is also important to recognize that consistency is not about perfection. You will have off days, you will face setbacks, but consistency means you do not let one bad day turn into a bad week, and one bad week turn into a lost month. It means you return to the path quickly and keep moving forward. That return, again and again, is what makes consistency powerful. It is less about never falling and more about how quickly you rise and continue. Consistency may not look exciting in the moment, but it creates a ripple effect that influences every part of your life. It transforms habits into results, results into confidence, and confidence into opportunities. Over time, people may look at your life and call you lucky, but what they are really seeing is the invisible power of consistency at work. The truth is, consistency is the bridge between goals and achievements, between dreams and reality. If you want a future that reflects your highest potential, consistency is the price you must be willing to pay every single day. A positive mindset is one of the most transformative qualities you can develop because it shapes the way you see the world and ultimately the way the world responds to you. Life is full of challenges, disappointments, and unexpected turns. You cannot always control what happens, but you can control how you interpret and respond to it. A positive mindset does not mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on possibilities rather than problems, on lessons rather than losses, and on growth rather than defeat. It is the inner lens through which you decide whether setbacks are barriers that stop you or stepping stones that move you forward. The energy you carry internally influences the opportunities you attract externally. People are naturally drawn to positivity because it radiates hope, resilience, and strength. A positive person inspires confidence in others. They walk into a room and change the atmosphere because they carry an attitude that says, "No matter what happens, I will find a way through." On the other hand, negativity pushes people away. A negative mindset drains not only your own energy, but also the energy of those around you. This is why cultivating positivity is not just for yourself. It has the power to impact your relationships, your career, and the opportunities that come your way. A positive mindset begins with self-talk. The words you repeatedly say to yourself shape your reality. If your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, and criticism, you will unconsciously limit yourself. But when your inner voice encourages, uplifts, and pushes you forward, you unlock a new level of confidence and resilience. Positive self-talk doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means reminding yourself of your strengths, your progress, and your ability to figure things out. When you choose empowering thoughts over limiting ones, you are literally reprogramming your brain to see more solutions and fewer obstacles. Positivity also fuels resilience. Every person faces difficulties, but those with a positive mindset rise faster after setbacks. Instead of dwelling on failure, they ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger?" That shift in perspective transforms failure into feedback. It turns struggles into lessons, and over time, this resilience builds an unshakable inner strength that allows you to face bigger challenges with greater courage. Life will always test you, but a positive mindset makes sure the test does not break you. Another important truth about positivity is that it multiplies when you practice gratitude. Gratitude is the daily habit of focusing on what is present instead of obsessing over what is missing. When you take time to appreciate even the small blessings, a healthy meal, a supportive friend, an opportunity to learn, you train your mind to see abundance instead of scarcity. This shift reduces stress, increases happiness, and reminds you that there is always something good, even in difficult moments. Gratitude is the anchor of a positive mindset because it keeps you grounded in what is going right, even when everything else feels uncertain. Positivity also drives action. When you believe something is possible, you are far more likely to take the steps needed to achieve it. A negative mindset convinces you that effort is useless, so you quit before you even start. But a positive mindset tells you that even if the road is hard, progress is still possible. This belief fuels persistence, and persistence creates results. Over time, your positive mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You expect good things, you act on that expectation, and good things eventually show up. A positive mindset does not mean you will never feel pain, frustration, or doubt. It means you acknowledge those feelings without letting them control you. It is the discipline of returning to optimism even when life tries to drag you into negativity. This quality influences yourself more than almost anything else because your mindset is the foundation of your behavior, your choices, and your future. When you carry positivity, you do not just influence yourself, you inspire others to rise with you.